What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of BOP. This is your boy AD with Leo and Bab in the building. What's up, fellas?
Hey, man.
What's up?
So we just had a game on yesterday, the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. We previewed the game with Good Guy and CeeLo, and they talked that shit, and Texans came to play. End up being a tie. The inevitable tie of the Houston Texans and Indianapolis Colts, the first in that series history. And it turns out that it was the first tie in Indianapolis Colts history as well. So that was a stat given to us by Meg from Twitter Spaces. So what are you guys' thoughts about the game? We'll start with the overall thoughts, and then we'll go into the breakdown of the game after.
Go ahead, Leo.
Man, I thought that we played really, really well. I thought we started off good. As y'all probably remember if y'all watched, I said that we would lose by 2 possessions. And but I think the way that they tied the game up definitely feels like a loss. We gave up 17 fourth quarter points. And it just kind of felt like we just couldn't seal the deal. But honestly, I don't know about y'all, but it kind of feels like the sad thing about it is just like we were talking about, after the draft and through before the draft. If we're going to be a defensive football team, you have to be able to sustain drives, even if you don't necessarily have like a have a high powered offense. You have to be able to sustain drives. And I felt like over the point of like in the fourth quarter, we just couldn't do that. We ended up giving up 500 total yards, 340 passing yards, 177 rushing yards. We gave up 33 first downs to our 20. In 39, 39 and a half minutes of possession versus 30 and a half minutes of possession. So like to me, it doesn't matter how good you play defense to a certain extent if they're on the field all the time. And I feel like at the end of the day, what I took away from this, everybody could have did better as we were just watching, film, from Pep to Lovey to everybody could be doing better. But at the end of the day, for me, I just feel like the team isn't good enough in the trenches to really to just, win, against anybody yet, consistently. So that's my initial thoughts. What about you, Bab?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty in a line as usual with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I think one of the things that kind of stood out to me that I guess, first of all, I had a great impression on the game. I think, some of the things are really encouraging still. I thought Davis Mills made legitimately, I think, 3, at least off the top of my head, fantastic throws. Squeezed it into tight windows, whether it was the right read or not. Had great placement. It was interesting to kind of see like Pep's like scheme, right? They left a lot on the table. They left a lot to be desired, right? Like there was like a lot of things that we I think the average fan would look at it and go, like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? Some encouraging things. I think like OJ Howard was obviously a good surprise. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to have another athlete at the tight end position. Jerry Hughes, obviously, like Jerry Hughes is a great addition to the team. Jalen Petrie looks like he's here to stay. Derek Stingley made a huge play. We're a pretty damn good red zone defense, but yeah, like you said, if we're going to be a defensive team, we got to be able to sustain drives, and unfortunately, even with the additions that we've made, the only thing that they've really done is make the bad stuff more prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Right. So where we've gotten better, it's unfortunately put a spotlight on the parts that are still bad.
Right.
But I enjoyed watching the game. If they put up that much offensive yardage and stuff like that and still only ended up to tie us, that's a pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty damn good defensive outing. They had the ball for almost an entire quarter more than us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Colts had us on time of possession by 10 minutes. So they had the ball 10 minutes more, and they you know, they dominated in the run game. No lie, which was expected. The Texans played pretty decent. They played pretty decent. They played pretty good. They stayed on schedule after that first series. They were on schedule quite a bit, moving the ball down the field. It's when they got in that little in between period, in between area between the 50 and red zone is where they struggled. And that's where you got a little, the field goals and everything like that. Like the touchdown, and then you had the field goals or whatever. Um, it was like field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. I think if that's how it went. Um, but that was the indecisiveness. But I mean, other than that, they played good. The defense, you know, people get excited and everything like that, but the defense did exactly what I thought the defense was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
The defense played, pretty well, especially in the first half. But we'll go into the breakdown of it and talk about the negative aspect of it. But they played pretty well. They got pressure with Jerry Hughes. Um, that was to me that was about it as far as the pressure was. It was Jerry Hughes and really nobody else. Maybe a few. Malik Collins got a few pressures on the inside, but I mean, other than that, like I said, Jalen Petrie was all over the field as expected. Showed that in the preseason. Stingley, had a couple plays, and that he really looked good on, especially the one on the end zone against Alec Pierce that stopped the touchdown, ended up being a field goal. Um, so it's a lot of positives to pull out of the game. Davis Mills had a pretty decent day, all the way up until the fourth quarter. That's where the controversy comes.
Uh,
Was it Davis Mills? Was it Pep Hamilton? Was it coaching all around? What was it? Everybody wants to point the blame at that point in time, but the offense was pretty on schedule. Wish we could have seen a little bit more of Damian Pierce. Um, and the innovation that Pep had at the very beginning of the game, as far as like scheming plays up and scheming guys open, it gave me hope. And then the hope kind of died when it came to the fourth quarter as well. With the lack of play calling, with the kind of let's just get out of town, let's get out of here with the win. Let's not put pressure on the Colts, even though the Colts are a team that, regardless of whether you think they are, they've always been a team against the Houston Texans that can come back and at any point in time. So
since the
you
Peyton
know,
Manning days.
since the Peyton Manning days, since we got into to the league, so it's just like the Colts have always been that team. So at this point in time, like, hey, let's not even go. Let's not even like chance it. Let's go down and try to score every damn time. And
Man.
so but other than that, like I said, it was a good game. We didn't lose, we didn't win, we tied, but we should have won
It,
that game up 20-3 with 10 minutes left to go in the game is at this point is inexcusable. It shouldn't even got to that point.
yeah.
Um, it goes all the way around.
I think, man, personally, to me, like this feels like a loss. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? When I think about it, like, I've always said, that this is gonna. I mean, we've all said that, obviously hope and pray for the best, but I mean, we're still in the rebuilding year for sure. And but I just feel like this is a game that, like, if you win, you know what I'm saying, like you potentially go into the bye week at 2-2, which, what I'm saying, like, is a big difference than looking at the schedule going forward from the bye week being 1-3. Because I feel like it would have just brought a lot more energy. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I know, like, you're not supposed to count wins, losses, all that shit before it happens, but we have two tough games before our bye week, that, you know, and I just feel like, you can't leave games like this on the table. Now, one thing I will say is that if they all grow and learn from this, then I'm happy with it, And I mean, it's like you said, we didn't lose, but I mean, it would have been nice to start off with this win. You know what I'm saying, going forward. You know, looking at our schedule, man. Yeah, I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
it's easy. It's easy to get down about like the way that the game ended. You know what I'm saying? But we were just legitimately whooping their ass in
yeah,
like the second and third quarters. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I guess really, you know, uh, unfortunately, sports games don't matter besides how it ends, right?
yeah.
Okay, like that's how you have to kind of look at it, right? That's just a general like understanding of like your average fan.
Mhm.
Like, so if you tuned into the ending of that game, it's a lot of what in the fuck are the coaches thinking? You know what I'm saying, right? I know Pep Hamilton's just getting back into like offensive coordinating and stuff like that, right? But I mean, having the commitment to a Justin Britt and Rex Burkhead, and then trying to convince anybody that they can get that 3rd and 1 like power run play, I it was like felt scripted to me. It was so comical. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like they just like went ahead and told the Colts that they were going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even have to tell them really, because I mean, like shit, like, they just weren't converting that. The like lack of belief in your offense at the end of the game was just so demoralizing, right? It was just like Pep thought we couldn't do shit. Like that's really what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? Like Pep was literally just like, man, we don't have shit. I can't do shit. Here's some plays. That's what it looked like, you know? Like it's like he was throwing in the towel or some shit, man. It was weird.
go ahead, Leo.
I mean, not to be contrarian and to be like a jackass, and but like
Yeah.
if we're honest, bro, I mean, what else could like? I mean, the team is just not there yet. I know that that's not an excuse, but like at the end of the day, bro, you know, we averaged what I think Bad really put it eloquently, and I probably couldn't have ever thought about that. I think before we were recording is that we got better in a lot of areas, but it just made the weaknesses even more prevalent. I still like I know King Green didn't play, but on offense at the end, I mean I know he didn't start. I know like whatever the fuck like they however they did it, like he didn't play, you know
As
he
much
didn't
as
play
he
the whole
should
game.
have.
As much as we thought, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, but at the end of the day, bro, I didn't see any more physicality than I saw last year on offense, bro. I did not see, at the end of the day, it seemed like, I'm of the camp where like, everybody gets fair blame, but at some point, bro, when you have a lead, what I'm saying, you want to be a power, you want to have, you know, this attitude and all this shit. At some point, bro, we have 3 first round picks on the O line. At some point, you're just gonna have to fucking put your head down and fuck people up. And I did not get that sense at all throughout the game. And I know, like we're talking about Britt and McCray and whoever was on the left guard if King Green isn't there. But I mean, at some point, to me, I feel like we had to get yards, and they just didn't. They didn't. You know, they just didn't. And I mean, Mills missed some throws too. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Pep could have called the shit differently, but man, I mean, I think also just being fair to everybody, the team, we just don't have enough talent to. It's sad as fuck to say this, but we don't have enough talent to fucking even finish a goddamn 20 to 3 point lead, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that's fucking sad.
So I'm gonna start with the offense, man. I'm gonna start, since we're talking about the offense, I'm gonna start with the positives. Um, Bab mentioned it earlier, the tight end position. Farrell Brown caught a nice, nice little corner route, over route, for I think it was maybe about 12 or 13 yards. And I think that Brevin had a catch for 5. And then OJ Howard had the 2 touchdowns those scheme plays were very, very well schemed by Pep to create an opening for OJ on both of those plays. Um, though the positives, that Kenyon Green didn't look lost in his first, actual NFL start, not start, his first NFL game. He didn't look lost. He looked pretty damn good. That's positive there. The fact that our tackles, they weren't, they weren't drive-by tackles. So like Tunsil and Titus had decent games. Um, they, everybody could have played better. Everybody could have played better. Like I said before, Ray, I wanted to see more of Damian Pierce. I would have even taken a few snaps with Dare or Dari to kind of switch it up. But it looks like when the second half rolled around, middle of the third quarter, it was the Rex Burkhead show from there on out. Damian Pierce, I think, maybe had about maybe 2 carries after the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
So he really didn't see much action at all. But just the positives at the end of the day, the positives, the offense, when they got clicking, they were able to move the ball, down the field. Regardless of how it was done, they were able to move the ball down the field. And one positive that I don't think most of anybody were talking about is that how the offense was able to capitalize on the 2 turnovers, and both of them resulted in touchdowns.
Right.
So that is a extreme positive and it pays off because that's the key we were talking about with Lovie Smith's defense is he's going to create turnovers. That defense is going to get turnovers in some form or fashion. And what does the offense do? I think that was one of the questions. What does the offense do with the damn turnovers that, the Lovie Smith defense creates? And we saw yesterday, they were able to go ahead and go down the field and score a touchdown on a short field on both plays. So that was an extreme positive that if we can always convert these turnovers to points, we're going to be in a lot of games because I do feel, and that was one of the keys to the game was turnovers.
Right.
And it ended up being the key to the game because that turnover, that sack fumble, that really wasn't a sack fumble in the fourth quarter ended up being, what cost, what gave the momentum back to the Colts.
Right.
And the Colts went ahead on that short field because I think he was like at the 20 something, in between the 20 and 30. So they just had to go down 20 yards, 25 yards to go and score a touchdown, which they did. Now it's 20-10. And now it's like, okay, 20-13 at that point. So now it's like, okay, you got to do something. They only down a touchdown, So that's when, going into the negative side, that's when the coaching, the play calling and coaching kind of took a turn. And it kind of started getting, let's protect the lead. And that wasn't the time to protect the lead in the fourth quarter at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because you weren't going to run, you weren't running the ball effectively enough to burn clock.
Yeah. But at no point in that game did you ever feel like we were going to be able to just run the ball on them too. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like we haven't run the ball effectively the whole day.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, why would you turn to let's hand the ball off, or let's run a running back screen, or let's run a little short pass play that didn't result in anything because it was incomplete. Now the clock is stopped. And so now you were trying to dink and dunk, your way with runs and short screen passes to Burkhead and little dump off passes to freaking Chris Moore or Brandon Cooks or something like that. And now you put yourself in a situation. And I was glad, I was glad that this situation occurred. That Davis Mills had to go on the field. He had an opportunity with, I think it was 157 left in the fourth quarter. And he had another opportunity after a missed field goal in overtime with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Both drives started at the 40-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. Because both of the times those kicks ended up out of bounds. So all he had to do was go 60 yards to score a touchdown or even 40 yards to get in field goal range.
Shit,
And
not even damn 40. I mean, shit.
not even 40, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, just to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
comfortable, you're talking about 40 yards.
Uh,
It was just 25 yards.
yeah, because
25 yards.
I felt like after the flag, bro, I was like, bro, we touched the ball again. Like that's
Yeah.
what made it hurt so bad. Because I'm like, bro, we have to be able to get in field goal range,
Yeah.
bro.
It was the penalties, it was the missed assignments, missed blocks. It was a lot of things that, if you rewatch the game, the play calls could have worked. You know, before the episode, we looked at the play, the controversial play. I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep preaching it. Before the timeout on 3rd and 1, you lined up in a star. I think it was a trips to the right, tight trips to the right with Brevin, um, Chris Moore. No, yeah, Brevin, Cooks, and Chris Moore came on in motion to do the other trips on the right side to bunch. And Nico Collins was standing there on the left side by himself tight, but by himself, the next defender was like 8 yards away from him.
Right.
At that point in time, I know Davis Mills, this is Davis Mills' second year. As much as, we've talked about the play calling and how it just was, not great after that fourth quarter fumble from Davis Mills, it just kind of went to hell after that. But at that point in time, Davis Mills, this was your moment to say, you know what? I'm the leader of this team. I'm the quarterback of this team. I will take the ass chewing from coach later. Let me win the game. Because if you get the first down, at that point in time, the Texans still had 2 timeouts. You get the first down, call timeout. Now it's 1st and 10, and you can do whatever you want to do. At that point in time, you're right at the 40, right outside the 40. If you run a couple plays, even if you don't get but 2 or 3 yards, you're going to be in field goal range.
Yeah.
You want to be in field goal range. You kick a field goal, you win the game. Whatever the hell you did that was against the coaches, whatever that will cause you to get your ass chewed out, that shit is not going to affect that. If you win the game, the coaches is like, okay, fuck it, we winning the game.
Right.
Okay, regardless of what the hell, good. And at the end of the day, you're going to get an attaboy. That was a great fucking recognition of the situation. Great, audible into a play where you can get a quick out, where you can get the first down at least and go from there. And then after the timeout, you go back to the play call. It looks like a horrible play call. It was a bad play call. But it was done, if it was done correctly and blocked correctly, it would have been a first down easy. We broke it down and we looked at it. The main culprit was Justin Britt. Justin Britt snapped the ball. Defender swim moved him, and he was in the backfield before Davis Mills could turn around to hand the ball off to Rex Burkhead.
Mm-hmm.
That's how quick it happened. Couldn't even get help from AJ Cann because he got beat so quick. And if it was done correctly, it was just a clusterfuck because Justin Britt got a swim move put on him, which caused him to fucking leg whip Justin McCray, which made him fall to his knees because Justin McCray was supposed to go to the second level to get the safety, and the ball was supposed to go to the left. Burkhead had to cut it right because fucking Justin Britt got beat.
And we had to kind of dissect that play some, and not until we like literally paused it when the handoff was happening did we realize it was supposed to go to the left. Because if you look at Burkhead's direction of his knees, his feet, you know what I'm saying, where his shoulders are positioned, he's stopping from going like left, right behind essentially Tunsil, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to go right behind McCray. McCray had the open block. McCray was supposed to shade a little bit in case the inside rusher was coming to the right. I mean to the left. He was supposed to check and go straight. And at that point in time, There was no, the only backer wasn't a backer. It was number 30. He was a safety. I don't even know his name. Number 30 was there. McCray was supposed to get number 30. And if he would have just engaged with number 30, Rex Burkhead gets the first down. Just engaging with him, because you at that point in time, you just fall forward and you get the first down. And even if, okay, let's say even if it wasn't there, if Justin Britt doesn't miss his block, let's say that McCray gets fucked up by 30, which could have happened because McCray was getting beat all game long. There was a hole on the right side in between Titus Howard and Charlie Heck. I'm sorry, Charlie Heck and Brevin Jordan.
We had an extra tackle in.
We had an extra, it was an unbalanced line, three tight end set. It was ridiculous because you had Heck on there as an extra blocker with Brevin Jordan.
It was one wide receiver. It was Chris Moore.
Right, Chris Moore. Brandon Cooks was there because Brandon Cooks was there too, right?
No, it was not.
It was just Chris Moore. So you look at it, and it was a big ass hole to your right, in between Brevin Jordan and fucking Charlie Heck.
But you couldn't get
again, all you had to do was at that point in time is just fall forward and you get the first down. So it's just, and even if you don't get the first down, it's 4th and inches and you go for it. It's 4th and inches and you go for it.
Yeah.
So it just, that sequence between Davis Mills, bad play calling, bad coaching for calling the timeout because you had time to run a play.
Yeah.
And that shows that the confidence was just gone. Between Pep Hamilton, between Davis Mills, between Lovie Smith, the confidence was gone. You had time to run a play. You called a timeout with almost 10 seconds left on the play clock. You called a timeout with the mismatch there. That was on Davis. I put that specific part on Davis Mills because you should have been checking the defense, and you should have seen Nico Collins with nobody on him for 8 yards. That right there, that should have been a recognized play. And for me, as much work as Nico Collins and as much work as Davis Mills has been, quote unquote, been putting in after practice and everything like that, they worked out in the summer together, doing all kind of stuff. Where's y'all keys? Where's the key? Hey, if I see something, or Nico, hey Davis, if I see something, I'm gonna do this signal. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up. I'm gonna give whatever the corny shit. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up or whatever. And hey, that means that I'm about to do X, Y, Z.
It better be fixed after this game.
Right. And that's the first part. The second part is Pep Hamilton and Lovie Smith. You call a timeout and you dial up a play that was worse than the play, even if you didn't run the out. The play design, the way that formation was set up on that 3rd and 1, you could have did so many different things with that formation. You could have run a draw, you could have run anything because the middle was open.
Yeah.
So you could have done anything in that formation and you could have got a first down. But you call a timeout, Lovie Smith calls a timeout, and then Pep Hamilton goes and you go into a play that's worse than the play that you had before. And now you bring in an extra tackle and you giving it away.
Yeah,
I mean, Charlie Heck, you have one receiver out there. It's only 2 options to throw the ball to. Well, 3. You got Brevin Jordan, Chris Moore, and Rex Burkhead. If you were to play action, and God forbid if it was a play action, Davis Mills would have got So that's what fucked it up. And I know people are saying we should have went for it on 4th and 3. I understand, because if Lovie Smith would have failed to get that, if we would have failed to get that 4th and 3 and backdoor gone, and they would have ran 2 or 3 plays and got in field goal range after missing a field goal to win the game, still end up winning the game by a field goal, Lovie would have got crucified. He's getting marginally crucified by the fan base, but nationally they're kind of saying, okay, they're not really harping on it. And I know we're very critical. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stop it. We're very critical because there were so many opportunities to win the game,
Yeah.
and I understand people are saying that we were a worse team last year. We lost 62-3 in both, combined both games. We were just a bad team. We showed a lot of improvement, this, and that, whoop de whoop. I understand that as well. But the fact that we dominated this game for three quarters in 5 minutes, we dominated
I
this game.
mean, but see that's my thing though, and I know we probably got to wrap it up pretty soon. But see, that's my thing though. The scoreboard told a different story than the stats, bro. We were dominating on the scoreboard, but
But just watching the game, when I say dominating, yeah, we were dominating on the scoreboard, but the momentum and the energy in NRG was on the Texan side as well.
yeah, but I mean, I can't lie. We went in with what was the like? We
The
went
halftime
in
was 10-3.
at halftime.
Yeah, it was 10-3 halftime.
Okay, we came out. I mean, I can't remember, bro. I was looking
Because
at
we got the ball back and we kicked the field goal, if I'm not mistaken. No, I mean we scored. Did we score a touchdown? I think we scored a touchdown.
somewhere in there. Like we definitely lost. We definitely got 17 put on us in the second and the fourth quarter. You know, I mean, I just think like I mean, I'm not gonna. I feel like it's one of them things where you could just go down the rabbit hole of like possible outcomes and like blame. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I mean, so yeah, we put 10 on them in the third, then got 17 dropped on us in the fourth. But I mean, look, I mean, to me, when you look at it, bro, how the fuck were we even in this game? I mean, they ran like how many 22 more plays than us. Like I mean, you on mute. Am I on?
No, I was on my bad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they ran 22 more plays than us, bro. Like, I mean, I just think like honestly at this point it's just like I mean, I hate to sound like a damn broken down, but it's just like how do we get through this season? You know what I'm saying? Two, what do we like, how many ways can we get better? And I
Yeah,
mean,
and I'm gonna talk about the defense because we went into extent on the offensive side of the ball.
mhm.
But I want you to go ahead and go if you want to have any comments on the defense. Because that's where Leo was going with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, really, I was expecting a little bit more from the defensive line, but we are missing a little bit of depth there. And when I say a little bit, I think your most versatile piece in Rasheem Green, who started all preseason, and then Mario Addison, who's obviously a plus like pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? After the bye week, this team with the players coming off of IR is going to get much better. I think with Harris and Wallow coming back, with Addison and Green healthy, is a massive boost for your front seven. I thought and if Tavier Thomas comes back in that same time, I mean, good grief, that's a great plus for the back end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the safeties.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do I think Steven Nelson could play a little bit better? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I guess that's our weakest link on the defensive back field. You know what I'm saying? And if that's our weakest link, we're doing pretty all right. You know what I'm saying? I feel pretty good about the defense, man. I think it can only get better, and we already have the pieces for it to get better this season.
So, do you have anything else, Leo? Or I need back there?
I mean, bro, y'all already know I'm at, bro. Get through this goddamn year, figure out if there's anyone other than who we just drafted, and even the guys that we just drafted. We see these guys on the team in 2 to 3 years, and like just move on from there, bro. I mean, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, for me on the defensive side, what I saw is that scheme wise, I think it could have been different. I think they could have implemented you know, you know, just
They could have done more. Yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
a more get a little bit more
like
creative. Yeah.
just getting out of the fucking cover two shit. And I understand it because it was fine and dandy when you were, had the lead. That's cool. Give up yards in the middle of the field, lock down, stop them when it comes down to red zone and everything like that. And then going in, going in to the meat of the heart of the comeback from the Colts, switch up to man. Switch up to man. You got Derek Stingley there. You got Nelson there. You got guys. Nelson isn't the best, but Nelson is pretty decent. So you would have. You. I'm gonna say it again. The Colts didn't have any man beaters. They don't have man beaters in their skill positions. So make adjustments. Put the players that can do multiple things in there, and you got to trust. Just as much as Pep kind of didn't trust Damian Pierce and Davis Mills down the stretch, Lovie Smith did not trust his defense down the stretch. And it's coaching is it's a lot, man. Players didn't play. Defensive line still has problems. Still can't stop the run. 161 yards for Jonathan Taylor. So I mean, other than that, bro, I mean, it was a decent game. You got the lead, but the true testament of the defense was to hold the lead.
Right.
And I know time of possession, they were out there on the field a lot. They still should have had. I think it could have been better. It could have been better. I'm not gonna take anything away from them. They got 2 turnovers. They gave Matt Ryan fits. Matt Ryan fumbled 3 times, tripping over his own feet. He looked like an old man out there. They made him look like an old man out there. Those are the positives for the defense. But I still think we still need to find a way to get pressure outside of Jerry Hughes, with Jonathan Grenard, who showed a little bit. But as far as like pressuring the quarterback and getting to the quarterback, I thought that having Hughes would have bumped him up, and he really didn't show this first game. But other than that, man, I'm at this point, man. It's time to look forward to next week. We got the Denver Broncos who's playing right now
Yep.
against Seattle, and NFL is funny, man, because Seattle is giving Denver fits right now. And Seattle's leading 7-3, man. In the midst of us shooting this podcast, kind of giving away the time. But Geno Cooks is kind of cooking Denver a little bit, man, if you want to say that. He did at least on the opening drive. So we got to look forward to it when it comes to Denver. We're gonna be playing at Denver, so it's gonna be a different game. So we'll see, man. I think that is, if we're able to build off and we're able to be competitive in the Denver game, then we may see something. We may see something turning. So
Yeah.
it's all about adjustments. How do you take this and how do you make your corrections and how do you go from here? Before we end it, one last tidbit: the Royce Freeman show is back in town again. I don't think he ever went anywhere. I think he just stayed at home and waited for the call. Same thing with Chris Conley. They're off and on, off and on. Looks like they may do that all damn year. But other than that, man, any final thoughts as far as going into next week?
I mean, man, it's gonna be another tough game, and just hope for the best. You know.
I don't know how much more I can handle this shit being really good and then really bad. Yeah, I don't want it to be extreme good and extreme bad every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't handle that, man. Just fucking suck or win. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, they're giving us something to watch at least. I mean, hey man, just what does Embiid say? Trust the
Trust the
process.
process. Yeah,
Or I
trust the
mean, for us, it's
process.
got to be enjoy the fucking process. Like.
So, other than that, man, I'm just ready to see what's going on. But I had to put the disclaimer, and I'm gonna put it out again. We're going to be critical, especially when it's winnable games. When games that the Texans should win, because this is a game they should have won of 17 points in the fourth quarter. You should win this game. You're going to get criticism. Yes, we're going to talk about the positives, But just PSA, we're gonna critique the team. We're gonna critique the team in all facets, coaching, players, everyone.
Mhm.
So I just need, the viewers out there to just stay with us and kind of listen to what we're saying. Um, but other than that, man, we'll see y'all next time. This is your boy signing off. This is your boy AD. We got Bab and Leo, man. We'll holler at y'all next time.
All
Peace.
right, y'all.